Michelle in a second is going to come up and introduce the next drill, which I'm so excited about. She's going to get you teed up so you know what we're going to do after Lily speaks. And the provost is going to introduce her in a moment. Lily is going to come up and blow our minds. And then we're going to eat and work. And Michelle's going to tee all this up right now. So this is Michelle Fox. Take it away, Michelle.
Thanks, Mark. All right, how's everybody feeling? That was a very energized session, and I bet you don't know what's coming next. So our next drill is still part of the Let Go practice, and it's called Be Stupid. Yeah, probably not a phrase that you hear often here on the campus, but that's what we're going to try to do, and trust me, the irony in the name of this drill is not lost on this group. And going around and getting to know some of you, I know that this is really going to be the challenge of the day. So, Be Stupid is particularly good for a group like ours, given the level of problem solving, prowess, and intellectual firepower that we have here. So, the question that I have for the group is, who can share with me the normal approach to problems around here, and what's the typical academic process for solving problems and creating solutions? Anybody? Let's go with you. What's the typical academic approach to solving a problem?
Defining the problem, identifying
Oops, I'm already up.
resources that'll get you partway to a solution, and then applying brain power to get the rest of the way.
Okay, all right, so that's a very structured process, sorry. What's that? Okay, can I ask, well, so I think the idea is we have a typical scientific process that we run through where you define the problem. What's that? No, so that's just like, so let's all just think, what's the typical academic process that you would use to define a problem and then go about finding that solution, that research process? Because what we're gonna try to do here is the exact opposite of what they train on the campus, okay? And that's where the Get Stupid comes into play. So, with Be Stupid, we begin by solving from the unlikeliest of places, and I mean literally by imagining the stupidest thing that we could do. So here are the types of outcomes we can expect from being stupid. The inconceivable new starting points, ideas beyond the status quo, and ideas unbiased by internal assumptions and orthodoxies. So to conduct this drill, each group will need the following, which should be on your tables: Sharpies, pens, small Post-its, and someone will be coming around to distribute large Post-it pads. So we're gonna have 40 minutes for this drill, and we are going to have lunch while we work. So a lot of activity is gonna be buzzing through this room. This will be a fun thing that you can do while you eat with your peers. And what we'll do is we'll put the steps for this drill up on the screen, but please take down these notes so you can refer to them while you work. Okay, so step one is you're gonna wanna split into duos. If you have an odd number at your table, there will be one group of 3. Each duo or trio needs to write the challenge statement at the top of a large Post-it sheet. So the challenge statement is written here on the wall. Some of you in the back corner might need to come around to see it. And then you'll have 15 minutes to generate the stupidest solution you can for how you might solve the challenge statement. And I just want to read out for you what the challenge statement is. It's what structures or systems will unlock collaboration around artificial intelligence to serve the public good. So again, it's the systems and structures. And then just so you all know, like generally where we're going to be going with this, because I know that this is an unfamiliar approach for you, for many of us. So an example solution would be to run a campaign to trigger mayhem in communities and employ pink monkeys so we don't have to talk to each other. That would be the stupidest solution as of yet, but we have a lot of work.
Let that one in, folks. Pink Monkeys, Mayhem, campaign, it's good stuff, right?
Okay, so that's the setup right now. I want for you all to hold on to that because what we're gonna do is transition a little bit, and because it is time for lunch. We have a lot to do while we eat, and in addition to this, we're gonna take a little bit of a mental pause, and we're gonna hand over to Lily Cheng, who is going to give a talk for us. This is going to be a working lunch, and what we don't want to have happen is to burn precious time standing in line for food. So please don't just get up and grab food. One of us will come over to your table and let you know when it is your table's turn to head into these doors and grab your lunch. And right now, so we're gonna take 30 seconds. This is rapid fire. I'm gonna be watching the clock. What I want for you to do right now is just look at somebody in your table and lock in your partner or your trio, okay? So find your partner or your trio.
You're gonna do it? Okay.
All right, does anybody not have a partner? Everybody has a partner? Great. Okay, so with that, I'll hand it over.
All right, I'm back again. I'm so pleased to see everyone here hanging in there, and I see smiling faces, so that's a good thing. I visited a couple of tables. I think the best takeaway when you were doing the anchors and the rockets, and if I remember correctly, the anchors were the ones that were holding back the university from success. And I think one table boldly told me that, you know, the provost is one of those anchors. They just wanted me to know on that one. I said, you're absolutely right. I need to get the hell out of the way on that one. All right, well, you're going to have a great lunch, but I'm really, really excited to introduce our speaker, Lily Cheng. Lily is the Corporate Vice President for Conversational AI at Microsoft. And she's played a tremendous number of roles in that organization and that company for a number of years, including just AI and research. She specializes, obviously, in conversational AI, and so those bots are a part of her expertise. She's responsible for the bot framework in language understanding cognitive service, which is called LUIS for short. She works with external partners all around the world, from startups to large-scale enterprises, to identify areas of collaboration, drive innovation, and deliver solutions. She manages Microsoft's relationship with conversational AI developer community across the world. She has a tremendous diverse talent that she draws upon, having founded the division's social computing group, as well as Future Social Experiences Labs. She served as the Director of User Experience for Microsoft Windows and has innovated on technical infrastructure related to real-time data and search, including Facebook and Twitter data integrations. And before joining Microsoft, Lily worked in Apple Computer's Advanced Technology Group on the user interface research team. Interestingly enough, her first career was an architect in Tokyo and Los Angeles for Nihon Sekai, I'm going to not pronounce that correctly, I'm sorry, and Skidmore, Owens, and Merrill on commercial urban design and large-scale building projects. She continues to implement her expertise in architecture by designing online community and partnering with top design schools around the world for programs such as the Microsoft Design Expo. She has an impressive educational background, having earned her bachelor's degree in architecture from Cornell University and her master's degree from New York University. She's taught classes in social software design and internet culture at Harvard Graduate School of Design at the New York University Tisch School of the Arts. She serves, and this is super appropriate for the University of Denver, she serves as a board member for AI for All, which partners with top universities to educate future AI talent about AI for social good. and she has been recognized by many organizations, including Time Magazine in a Future of AI piece, Forbes in a Women at Forbes 2018 piece, Fast Company in a Most Creative Person or People in 2016, and by New York University, which awarded her a Tisch 50th Anniversary Creativity Award. You might wonder why we are so fortunate to have Lily join us, and that's because she lives in Seattle with her husband and has 3 boys, and one of the boys attends the University of Denver. Wow, yay! We are so excited. So a warm welcome to Lily Chang. Lily, the floor is yours.
Can you hear me? All right, so I think this is just going to give you some ideas of what AI technologies are. I work on tools that really look at language, how everything you say or type or speak might make it easier to write or create things. So this will be good fodder for the silly things that you might want to work on or the amazing dreams that you have. So I'm going to start with one of the student projects that we had from UCLA. Every year we have many schools participate in this, and the student, Rafiq Anadol, had this dream. He loved this building. This is the LA Philharmonic in Los Angeles, and he loves music. So he had a dream that inside of the Gary Hall, classical music could become more accessible to people. And so he did this student project. It was a 6-week project. He was very busy. He had other work to do, like all of us, and he kind of went for it. So I think the key is he believed in his dream. He was not a computer science student. He was in the digital media arts program at UCLA, and his professor, and we all tried to help him connect to the Philharmonic to do this. And what's really cool is he projected live music, beautiful animations that helped you understand the music and see it more visually if you're a visual thinker and not a, listening to classical music. And it's really amazing. I don't know if you can see this, but the whole hall was really transformed by his animations. And what was even cooler was he had this dream after he graduated that it wasn't just the people who could buy tickets to go see the Philharmonic. He really wanted music to be more accessible to everybody in the community. And so last summer he did this amazing project where, for the 100-year anniversary of the LA Philharmonic, where they warped data visualizations onto the exterior so anybody walking by in downtown LA could actually see the project. What I love about this is it's about a student dream, that he was probably more ambitious than many of us would be in believing that he could do it, and it actually happened, which is so cool. Technically, it's really tricky. They had 70 projectors warping the visuals onto the surface of the building, and they worked with a bunch of people at Google who helped them access all the data visualization and archives of everything that had happened in the LA Philharmonic to show this. It's just a super fun thing, and it's just an example of a student project that started with somebody who really is kind of a terrible programmer. He doesn't need to be a programmer, but he just believed that he could do it himself. So as you said, I'm on the board for AI for All, and it kind of broke my heart to hear so many people this morning saying they didn't know much about AI, and I bet a lot of those people that we talked to are students. I have a son here, and we better make time. We better make time now to help students feel that they are empowered to create the kind of tools that they sit and use every day on their phones. And the faculty better feel like time is short. A year is almost gone of my son's 4 years here, and we don't have a lot of time. So, I would say get started. Think about, what a parent wants. We want our kids to be able to feel like they will have a great career and jobs. And I don't really care if they take all of their required classes. I want them to have an amazing project experience that they work on that gives them the confidence and the belief that they can build and do whatever they want. So I would say learn to be a novice is you said it maybe, learn to be dumb, embrace not knowing anything. No one else, by the way, in industry, including at Microsoft, not very many people actually have their PhDs in AI, so join the club. Everybody is learning this, and everybody here, you're here. It's amazing that your university is pulling this group of people together. Not very many universities can do this because some of them are too big.
and they don't have the support. So, go for it and give yourself, a week or 8 weeks and think of what you can make and try to do something that Rafiq, a student who really didn't know that much, could do. So now I'm going to rapid fire through some things. You don't really have to learn any of these statistics, but I would say if you are an AI researcher, in the last 3 years, we are matching human parity for so many tasks in speech and language understanding, which means if you say something, the computer can actually do dictation better than a person for some tasks. Just last week, we met, Microsoft beat Stanford's conversational QA benchmark for understanding. And every company is making their AI tools available for you to use, very low cost or free on GitHub. So you don't have to go get your PhD in AI. You should just use what everybody's making available. It's super cool. So this is a picture of fan art in China. So I'm going to now kind of switch gears and go through some projects. This is our most popular chatbot at Microsoft. Her name is Xiaoice. She inspired the less popular Tay chatbot. But this is a fan so loved her, and what they found was this was an experiment to say, like, can we actually make an experience in language where a person might actually want to talk to a chatbot versus you just get in and get your task done as quickly as possible. And what makes for engaging dialogue? We actually brought in a lot of improv artists to help teach us how do you keep the conversation, what's engaging, what's interesting. Today, Xiaoice exists in China, Japan, India, and Indonesia. I love that it's so global and powers a lot of social chatbots like Pokemon or other characters. And is rethinking in China, like, what is television recording or broadcast, all kinds of media. What experiences feel creepy? What things do people use? Why is it great? Why is it better? One of the reasons it's better is because it's available when you want to talk. It's not only available when a person is there, offering help. There's super cool technology out there doing meetings. So think of this meeting, being able to record and know what someone's saying so that you could search over it afterwards and find information. The real-time translation is also super cool because you can talk to people who speak a different language and translate this in real time to other languages. So, at my table there was someone doing Arabic languages, what an amazing time if you teach language to think about, well, what can you do if people can speak different languages and interact? And how do we make sure all these other languages are as important as English? So I just think that's so cool. Our customers, every enterprise customer that we have is going through this same question that you have. Wow, maybe we aren't where we think we should be. We wish we were doing more in AI. And so we work with the coolest groups in these organizations, including here, who are kind of the lean forward group. They're always underfunded, they never have resources, and they are actually the small groups empowered to go do something. Because it's really hard to take your really big, money-making business and change it on a dime, and it's much safer to take a small group who are kind of fearless and go make something happen. But we have so many companies, and this was a huge surprise to us, that companies, we thought enterprise companies might be slow. They are not. They are like really worried about business, how they run their business, and disruption. So Vodafone is just one company. They made a chatbot. Their chatbot was actually very simple. It just answered the common questions that people ask all the time. And they actually reduced their customer support cost by about 70% in Italy, which let those people do other fun things that are more engaging. Because it turns out most people don't like to talk to companies because it's such a terrible experience. Do you feel like calling the help desk at DU? No, you never want to talk to them because it's probably terrible if you're an incoming student, and maybe you can get a lot of your questions just answered more quickly, and you never lose an incoming or potential person who has a question. So we're doing a lot of software around making it really easy to author these experiences. If you don't have a coding degree, how do you make it easy? Because often you deploy these systems and then your programmer leaves, and then you have to maintain it, and it turns out you need to build something into it, or you need to add it, or you answered the question the wrong way. And so having people who really know the business and can answer questions and think about and write dialogue that's engaging to people is a really critical skill with lots of analytics. At Microsoft and many other companies, we have cognitive services or AI services for vision, understanding what you see, understanding if you take a picture of a poster like that, understanding the words in it, doing more with speech, being able to translate. So, you don't have to think about creating those services. I think the goal is to think about what would you do with them. That's really interesting. But a lot of what we do is around using words, typing, searching. How can you make those experiences better than they are today? And for the students here, they're so excited. They have time. I mean, you are gonna make the next, all I know about AI is it's gonna be completely different in 2 years. And so, I would just say sometimes it's a scary word for people. It should not be, because anything you learn now, you should just be good at embracing new things, probably. We have a thing that lets you really import your FAQs that you might have on your website, documents, and generate question and answer pairs, so that you don't have to scroll through a long questionnaire to get to the question you care about. You can just ask the question and it brings it right to you. It sounds simple, but like being able to do that really easily without coding can really transform your user experience. And so, think maybe stupid, but also think simple, and just like what can you do easily to make the problems that people have quick, and then, maybe that's the thing you want to do or maybe not. This is kind of an interesting problem, and we got a challenge from many companies. Give us a challenge. So this is a company that said, Airbus, we have a lot of documents that are a giant mess. They're in PDFs, they're like on paper. Help us search over this stuff, because if we can't find information and find out what's going on, that's step one. And so we have this tool that's available in the Q&A maker. You can upload a PDF, and it can extract all the information, maybe in a really complex table like that, and generate questions and answers over it. So like I said, there's so much that's already done for you that you don't have to do, and then you can, if you're an engineer, you can build on top of those, because a lot of those are open source, and if not, you can just use them as is and get a lot done. These are also really cool. All kinds of intelligence around video. So much of the information that we get today is in video. So this is a tool that consumes some AI services to say, what's that a picture of? What are the topics in that picture? What are the interesting parts of the video that people have been looking at, so that watching a movie or watching the highlights of this video that you're seeing here can be a lot more accessible, because no one really wants to sit through 8 hours of video for this experience that you're having today. You might want to just jump to the parts that are most interesting for you. So these kind of technologies, they are happening at scale. They're really easy to use, and I would just encourage you, definitely don't build your own. I mean, you can if you want, but use the tools that people are making so available. And it's really great, again, translation, language, all of these transcripts can be translated in real time. You can annotate them. So for the writers in the room, the social science folks, we really need you. We need you to think about how being able to understand more about the content that's written or spoken and translating it into different languages, how does that transform the way you write and the way people consume everything. So that's my last slide. Like I said, I wanted to hit on some of the tools that are available really around language and spoken words, video, writing. For us, all of our tools are available open source on GitHub. GitHub is, if you're a developer, that is your resume. It is where people live. Every cool AI project is pretty much out there open source for you to use. I love GitHub because it is focused around projects, and the notion that every freshman coming in can have a project that they work on, and this project can be open and accessible and discoverable is so critical. But anyway, and you can connect to like the world's best developers in the world in AI on GitHub. They're just putting their stuff out there. So I would say, what you guys are trying to do is really inspiring. And as a parent, I would say do more faster, because I want it to happen when my kid's here and not their senior year, but like their freshman year, which is this year. So if you need to help you in any way or connect you to stuff, I'd be happy to do it. And I just found it so cool that everybody here kind of wants the same thing. Like, you want this freedom, you want people to work on projects, you want to go across boundaries, And so don't wait for somebody to empower you, just go do it. And I think you already have the support. But thank you so much for having me, and I hope you enjoy lunch. So, thanks a lot.
Go ahead, let it. Oh, I've got one. Thank you, Lily. That was amazing, inspiring. How's the food, everyone? That's not a fair question because you all have food in your mouth. You're like, so we're going to give you a couple minutes to keep munching. So in about 5 minutes or so, Michelle's going to pop back up here. We are going to need you to kind of tear off the Let Go, the Anchors and Rockets posters. Note that we've got these big, huge foam core boards that are going up around the room. Each of those boards is going to belong to a table, and you'll find your work, prior drills there. So there's kind of a narrative that's building. There's a process, there's a flow. So just want you to be aware where your work is going to live. On that note, cheers. We'll be back in 5.
All right, thank you everyone. We don't want to disrupt your lunch, but I do just want to remind you that we are here on assignment. Okay, so remember who your partner was or who the triads are? And if you aren't already, let's start thinking about that stupid campaign. Be stupid, think wildly. What's the craziest idea that you can think of to solve that challenge statement, okay? So we have about 30 more minutes for lunch. We'll take about 15 minutes to work with your partner or your triad, and then we'll queue you up again in about 15 minutes because what we're gonna wanna do is share that with the whole table. And just like we did before, each table is gonna vote on what the most supremely stupid idea is that your table has come up with together, and then we'll bring you all back with a share back from each table. So please continue to enjoy your lunch and these stupid conversations, and we'll bring everybody back in 30 minutes.
Like really stupid.
Super stupid.
Really, really stupid. Okay, have at it.
What we want to do now is just start going around the room and hearing what you all have voted on as the stupidest, but truly the supremely most stupid idea that you at your table have come up with. So, we'll start here. Okay, they're still voting. Who has an idea that they would like to share? Okay, great. And then when you're done, I'll ask you to hand this off to the next person.
Okay, we're pretty matter of fact. If you notice, the whole table left, except us. That's how stupid it was. So ours is stay in silos. Email, text only. That's it.
That's pretty stupid. Yeah, please. Do you have
The 4 of us here want to make sure that this is attributed to Kim. Let the chancellor and trustees decide without consulting any faculty. Announce the decision hourly from the bell tower with a megaphone in Sanskrit using Morse code. Establish it as the Free Unlimited Beer Academy of AI Research.
Woohoo!
If you listened carefully, that was FUBAR.
Thank you. Good job.
Can't
Please.
even begin to top that one. All right, so another one we were playing with, in addition to Jim's fabulous stupid idea, was the provost for the university is a robot who randomly selects faculty to become university departments, makes them live together on the moon until they can create and develop a curriculum around
This group right over here, you're up.
So we tossed around a bunch of ideas, but I think what we came down to is something very simple. Teachers go into each other's departments and solve each other's problems with no research, no nothing.
Okay, this group over here. Or Haluk, were you going to go?
Okay, so ours is get your faculty who know AI and work in AI to design an AI system to answer this very question. Get your faculty who are working in AI or experts in AI to design an AI system to answer this very question.
That's great. We're going to go right over here, and then Evan, you'll be next. So this group right here, please go.
So one of our ideas was to instill mass hysteria in the general public by scaring them about the controlling features of AI that could control their lives, their bank accounts, and stuff.
Okay. Scaring the public. Love it. Please, Evan.
Our dumbest idea was to find the friendliest dogs we can and then strap AI chatbots to them and set them loose on campus, spreading propaganda about how we should adopt AI and become more of a community.
That's pretty doggone stupid good, or good stupid. Have I forgotten a table? Let me check. Okay, everybody's had a chance to share. Folks who've just joined us for the first time, newcomers. Anybody here? Guys in the back? Welcome, welcome. So you've joined a group, awesome. You're going to be working with them. 3 guys in the back, are you just hanging out, or do you want to come in and join a random table? Come on, fill a seat. The folks who are there will fill you in. This table right here could use people. Second one on the left. Do you have anything you want to say before I keep it rocking?
I just want to applaud everyone.
Yep.
Thinking stupid. Proud of you. Proud of all of you.
This is such a stupid exercise. I love it. Would you like me to break down this exercise? I mean, some of you have to be wondering, like, why did we waste time with this? I mean, there is a little bit of rhyme or reason. Would you like me to give you some insight? Okay. So again, everything that we're trying to do is to keep us out on that bold path. Being stupid is one way to do it. If we had said, come up with this, a solution to fulfill on the challenge statement, you would have went right down the familiar path and come up with very logical, sensible solutions. But we're not ready to go there yet. We want to stay in the stupid domain. So here's how this is actually useful. So my example was on the left. We're going to run a campaign to trigger mayhem in communities and employ pink monkeys to come up with solutions so we don't have to talk to each other. So you can tell that I've underlined key words here. And to the right, I've broken it down. So starting at the top, here's what's stupid. Campaigns to trigger mayhem in communities. Translation, campaign to trigger action in certain parts of the university. Okay, so as you zero in and lock in different words that have different energetics, you can start to unpack them and assign meaning to them. You can interpret them in any way you want. Second example, stupid, employ pink monkeys. Translation, find really interesting people who can keep other folks' attention and put those folks who are interesting in key positions. I'm elaborating a little bit there. Third example, stupid, come up with solutions so we don't have to talk to each other. If it's possible, translation, what technologies could we use to increase the speed of communications? So can you see how being ridiculous is an entry point into what could be really, really brilliant ideas that you would want to further develop and pursue? Yes? Okay, awesome. We're going to go on to Emma here. So Emma is just crushing it with graphic illustrations. She's actually going to walk through what she's heard and what she's captured and what she's sensed from the room.
Awesome, thank you. And hello, everyone. This has been really fun, thank you. And this is a topic that I am totally unfamiliar with, so please forgive the simplistic interpretations. I'm not going to go into it in detail, I encourage you all to stand up, check it out, take photos, explore it later. But there are a few little golden nuggets that have emerged that I would like to share. One of those things is this idea of non-linear movement. So in the anchor and the rocket ship, the dotted line that connects them is non-linear. And that just means that the path forward isn't clear. Obviously, we're working and operating in this murky unknown with uncertainty. And so we're gonna have to go one way, come back, go another way, come back, and continue to flow forward. That could also be seen as organic movement, and I keep getting drawn to the flowers at the tables, because as we're talking about AI, I feel like the brain wanders, at least mine does, to kind of hard and fast science, technical solutions. But there's a lot of solutions present in this living world. And AI, my understanding, is set to help us enhance these already present organic solutions. So flowers, emergence, trying to think what else. Oh yeah, so this one was really funny. When you all went out into the community and asked around to learn more about what's present at DU. We initially started by setting these into 3 categories that were super distinct with a line separating them. And the very first thing that I drew was this ecosystem network that broke down the barriers. So that's a theme that you keep coming back to, is that yes, silos exist and they're not helpful. We need to be working in an integrated way. And I think, yeah, just leaning into the sense that we don't have all the answers. We're working in this new field, and leaning on one another. Every single one of the things that I've created have people connecting. So though we're working to create this technological super world, nothing can translate for a direct human connection. Does that make sense? Am I missing anything? Yeah, right. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Emma. Before you go, are there any questions? Is there anything that any one of you are curious about that you'd like her to expand on? Going once? Twice? Okay, sold. Thanks, Emma. Okay, we're going to keep blazing trail here, and we're going to move on to our next practice, which is making stuff. So the reason why we did Be Stupid was to start putting some form to ideas, and now we're going to just start elaborating on that. Got another little handy-dandy homemade video for you that kind of explains the background, the context, and the thinking for this practice. So let's see if I can get it up and you can hear it. Now we're going to make a big old turn into our 4th Think Wrong practice. That practice is called Make Stuff. Making stuff literally allows us to gain insights that we would never generate if we continued with high-level abstract thinking. So this marks the point in our time together where we shift to more concrete and promising solutions. So it's about connecting dots here. From an individual perspective, making stuff allows us to interrupt the synaptic connections that result in predetermined paths that prevent us from exploring and building on vague, ambiguous, and uninformed possibilities. Within organizations, we often see people separating the formation of strategy from making and doing, and that totally limits what can be known and understood about what's possible or the solutions that are on the table. So by making stuff, we get to build with each other, discover, understand, inspire further creativity, and inform strategy ultimately. We also get to be collaborative and find co-conspirators who have something really cool and unique to offer. We get to be ingenious and make clever, practical, and original use of existing resources as we build solutions. And we get to be simple and build just enough to answer our biggest questions while avoiding overbuilding too early. Don't over-rev, gang. Don't do it. And we also get to share half-baked first drafts. Yes, put them out there. So now it's time for the big reveal. The drill we're going to run now is called Name It. And the outcomes from Name It are going to be better understanding of your emerging solutions, early use scenarios, and the ability to share and learn and be inspired by others. So here's what we're going to do to run Name It. Okay, it's always a little weird seeing myself on screen like that, but anyways. Okay, so for the needed exercise, you're going to need Sharpies and Post-its again, all the stuff that you've been using. We're going to take 40 minutes in total to do this. What I'd like you to do as a group, quickly discuss what were your top 2 stupid solutions. If you only have one, that's fine. You can use that, but if you have 2 or more, figure out which ones are going to rank at the top of the list. We're going to be using the Name It posters. So we need to peel the Be Stupid ones off of your table. We'll hang them up. We'll put them in your domains. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to name your stupid solutions. Then you're going to create a tagline for your stupid solutions. And then, if you've got your laptop, design a logo. And you can go right there, www.logo.squarespace.com, and you can design a logo. And then you're going to storyboard. So if you look at the Name It sheets, there's little blocks here. And that's the area that you want to use to storyboard your solution. So the idea, what we want to do here is capture the journey, capture the experience that your solution is. We want to flush out and illuminate the high points, the really important parts, the transition moments in the delivery of your solution. So now we're going to think this is modeling. We're starting to model. We're taking these weird concepts, we're going to model them out, and we're going to start turning the corner more and more towards the portfolio that we're ultimately going to be creating that will evaluate and assess as we think about what the next steps are for this particular project. Is that clear? Does anybody have any questions? Do you need to clarify or eliminate on anything else? So if you have a bunch of stupid solutions, you're going to pick your top 2. If you already zeroed on one because you only have one, that's fine, go with that. You're going to name it, create a tagline, and then you're going to go ahead and create a logo and then map it out. Okay, so we'll start with 30 minutes, rock it, holler if you need help, send up a smoke signal, carrier pigeon, whatever you need, let us know, we'll be there and help out. Have fun. Okay, are you ready to go? We're going to do a quick round of presentations. So each group is going to have an opportunity to share their storyboard. So we're just going to talk everybody through it. Ready to come back? So this is going to be random selection. I'm going to select the group just based on the logos that I have. So drum roll, please. Yeah. Here's our first logo. Who belongs to this logo? In the back? Is that you guys? Okay, take the microphone. You want to come on up? Okay, come on up. Let's get some tape. How can we do this? Okay. All right, I'll hold, you capture.
So the project is called, the name is Project Obsolete. So basically it's telling people that we're going to improve technology by exploiting people every day. And the logo, what I represent is that AI is an emerging thing that is coming up at the sunset, which is growing based upon your personal information. And then we have at the end a sign that says, now hiring, no human needs to apply. So that's what it's called Project Obsolete, because it's referring to us. And this is the impression that people have, the concept that people have of AI. Like, it's gonna make us obsolete. That's what we try to project here.
Okay, great, thank you. Perfect, perfect. So you're gonna have a chance to expand that. Any quick questions? Very nice. Okay, on to the next one. So these presentations can be from, based on your stupidest idea. You could have evolved from the stupidest idea into something, something from there. Who belongs to this? Who does this belong to? Come on up, grab your sheet, I'll hold it, and you get to run with the mic. Awesome. There you go.
So we really ran with 3 different ideas, but this one in particular was Probot, where we dress the provo into a robot suit and have students at DU or faculty kind of program the robot to run this university using just code. So we just decided to draw an Android robot and put flames on it.
Okay, thoughts, questions? No? Okay, good, good, good. Here comes the next logo. Trust Us. Where's the Trust Us group? Grab your sheet, come on up. Real quick explanation. So we're going through just to share around really quickly. The next exercise, which Michelle's going to lead, is going to allow you to go deeper and deeper into each of these ideas. So it's okay if you don't grasp all of it.
So this was the top-down approach that we suggested, and so the name is top-down. The tagline is "Trust Us." You can see the logo there, and the storyboard is. Oh, by the way, I was not allowed to come up with the tagline. I wanted chop chop, but no. The storyboard is the decision being made arbitrarily, shouted from the bell tower, stomped into us, and the last one is public good going up in smoke.
Great, thank you. Well done. Round of applause. Applause, applause, applause. All right, dog bots. They went all out on the logo.
Yep,
there you go.
Okay, dog bots. So we only have one picture on the storyboard. So our dog has a chat bot on it. Nobody can resist puppies, so we let them loose in buildings, and they go up to people, and as soon as the person starts to pet the dog, it triggers the chat bot, which says, "Would you like to learn about AI?" So the dog and the person have a conversation around AI. And if the dog's tail wags fast, it says, "Oh, this makes me excited." So it's a conversation.
Beautiful. Applause, applause, applause. Next one coming up. All right. No AI, no problem. Who's going to represent this group? There you go, Haluk.
The provost, Jeremy, in the room? No? Okay, now I can tell.
Let it rip. Let it rip.
So we named it AI Free DU. The tagline, no AI, no problem. And this is our logo. And so the storyline, the provost is on a podium, tells faculty, no AI at DU. And we have faculty here who listen, and then they discuss, what does the provost know? Let's prove him wrong. And here faculty are doing research at the Beans Cafe. This is New York Times. DU researchers invent an AI tool that solves the hunger problem. Nobel Prize expected in the new AI category. They received the Nobel Prize, and the provost receives the most innovative provost award at the end. So everybody wins.
Good job. Take this with you. Hello. Is there any group left that has not had a chance to share? Come on up. Did you send me a logo, Skylar? You did? Give me 1 second.
Our idea is called FactSwap, Fact for Faculty. FactSwap. So faculty go into each other's offices. They're in their color-coded silos, as you can see in the storyboard, with a lot of questions that they don't know how to answer, and they're just pointing arrows at themselves, saying, me, me. And our idea is that you'll go into another faculty's department to solve their problems. The tagline is, you think you can do it better? And then once they do that, then the colors converge to one color from multiple colors, and it's a we, not a me or a you. Thanks.
All right, applause, applause. So for whatever reason, Skylar, I didn't get the logo, so if you guys want to send it to me again, we'll pull it up. In a minute, I'm going to hand the baton over to Michelle, but I'd want to just kind of tee things up really quickly. So we've actually made a lot of progress. We started by going out into the world. We talked to 3 people. We gathered insights. From there, we dug into anchors and rockets, generated more insights. Then we went into, what did we do next? I'm forgetting. Then we did being stupid. Stupid. And that allowed us to start putting form to the conversations we've had, the experience we've had, and the ideas that have manifested. And now with Name It, we've added another layer to that. So we were divergent in the morning, now we're converging on real form and substance. So for the most part, we still were in the domain of the stupid idea, which is great. For this next exercise, I need you to start turning the corner and extracting meaning, possibility, potential value, potential pathway forward. So we're going to let go of the stupid part, the silly fun part, and we want to start to make things a little more concrete. Because what's going to happen tomorrow is the committee and a few other folks are going to reconvene, and they're going to start digging into your ideas and mining them for the things that we might want to explore and pursue and invest in going forward. So as Michelle tees this up, approach this next drill with, we need to turn another corner here. We need to start kind of concretizing some of the ideas and concepts. So on that note, please, Michelle.
This is the fun part. This is where we get to see each other's work and be critics. And we get to make comments, raise questions, and really see and dive into these ideas and make them a reality and a possibility. So what I need from you is, I think with numbers now, I need one person to stand up at your table. One volunteer. I will, if I need to, I will choose Hunger Games style, so.
Don't make her do that, I've seen it, it's rough.
Nominate, volunteer yourself. Perfect. Okay, you are now the lovely volunteers that hopefully you know your project the best, or you feel you own it, because you are going to go next to your board. So if you can find your group's board that is scattered around the room, there's 2 over here. We're going to move one of those in a second. So if you can go stand by your board and bring your name in, yep. That would be great. All right, now the rest of you. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to each person's board, each group's board. So as a group, so this group's going to go to someone else's board and going to go talk to them about what their project ideas. And before you go, take a pack of sticky notes and a Sharpie, because you're going to make comments and you're going to bring them with you. All right. So you guys are going to have about 5 minutes at each board. I'm going to make the dinging noise to tell you when to switch. All right. So everyone up. With your group that's left at the table, go find another group's board, and then we're going to rotate around the room. So go to some other groups. Obviously skip your own.
Okay, everyone, let's reconvene. Let's gather around, large group again. We're going to go into our next practice and our next drill. It's actually going to be our final drill. So let's take our seats. I've got one more homemade video for you. Might have even changed my shirt for this one. Can't promise it though. So I want to do just kind of a quick check-in and hear some of the things that you talked about or you heard or became clear. So it's Diana?
Yes.
Here.
Wait, what was the question?
What are some of the things that you heard about your project?
Actually, there was not a lot of criticism on my project. It was just more like what type of dog and what type of conversations. A nice picture. So.
Okay. So no constructive feedback, just applause, admiration. Okay. I'm going to go back here because this group was rocking it. So what did you learn? What are some of the things that people picked up on that you think could be valuable?
Okay, well our project was Project Obsolete, and so we started out
in our team about discussing how to reverse engineer what would you do to make humans obsolete. And so that's kind of what our board was. So then we had different people respond. Some said, this is all good. Making life easier, data mining, and managing your info, that's all what AI folks do here and learn to do at DU. But the problem is then if we end up with humans need not apply. And so several of the groups talked about how DU could intervene between these kind of three things that are happening right now and where we're going, or seem to be going. And so these were the ideas that people came up with, that we need a curriculum that looks at ethical approaches to AI design. We need greater transparency, both within DU's practices as well as working toward regulations and policy making that might support greater transparency among our social media outlets. And then also citizen education, like knowing your data's worth to brands, and increasing education for all. And then thinking about how we tailor studies for what AI is hiring for so that we could hire the ethical people that we want to see in this space. And then I think what we were talking about last was the idea of how do we bring in the whole community, faculty, staff, admin, students, and all of Denver to maybe have meetups about AI so that that can feed into what do we need here in terms of ethical approaches.
Well done. Give her applause. Well done, Lynn. Skylar? What did you learn as people came and picked away?
I think that we learned that people like the idea of a fun game of competition. So some of the feedback that we got were make it like a field day or like a purge. And just continue the communication that way by tapping into the social competition that faculty feel, but turn it lighthearted and just make it novel and not threatening.
Okay, great. Thank you. Applause, applause, applause. Philip? What feedback did you receive? It should be on. Did it just go out?
Hello, okay. We succeeded on the be stupid part apparently better than anyone else because our idea was so bad that no one had anything good to say about it. And the consensus was essentially tear it down and start over. So I feel that, yeah, we were horrible, but that since that was the assignment, that we get the lone A. So.
Okay. All right, thank you. Applause. Kaluk?
Here for our feedback, first is the provost, they open to communication, so the faculties began to think about this problem and to continue and to talking about that and got the final result. And the other one is, this is also a very important feedback is to sustained attention to innovation research. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Have I missed anybody? I'm actually proud of myself. This is the first workshop that I haven't missed a group. I usually just go blowing right by somebody. It's a little pat in the back. Okay, fabulous. So clearly we're in the middle of the day and a lot of folks are at class or doing whatever they need to do, so the room is a little thin, which adds kind of just an added layer and just adds a little bit of a challenge in terms of forwarding these ideas